Hello, my loves, and welcome to Jennifer's Open Book, where we don't believe in filters. I am doing this like it's my first time today for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but we gonna do it. We have a guest today, and the subject that we are gonna be talking about is a sensitive subject. So I'm pre-warning you guys. I want you to go ahead if you have not already done so. Subscribe to this channel. Comment on this video. Make sure you hit your notification bell so that you can know when I upload new videos. Um, Leave some comments for my guest so that we can get those to her and she can answer any questions that you all have. Make sure that you share this video. Something is going to be said today that someone needs to hear. Also, go check out some of my other videos and let me know what you think. I think I covered it all. Um, so that being said, we are going to get to our guest. Her name is Miss Daphne Coleman. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Great. Okay, this worked. I can hear you. You can hear me. Awesome. Good job, StreamYard.
All right.
um, Daphne is one of our blind moms. You guys know we love our blind parents here at Jennifer's Open Book, and we are going to get into her story because her story is sad, and we need we she's gonna we she's we're gonna reach out to some people. Before we get to her story, Daphne, first of all, can you explain to my guests the nature of your visual impairment?
Well, I lost my sight 12 years ago. I had fluid on my brain, meningitis, and it took my sight and my hearing pretty much overnight. I went into the hospital and I woke up. I was blind and deaf, but my hearing came back. Unfortunately, my sight didn't, but I could see enough to maneuver around and do what I need to do.
And you are a mom. How many children do you have?
I have two.
You have two children. And when you lost your sight, did you have a support group? Was your family supportive of you?
Well, not like they should. It was more like the Ray Charles type of tough love, where it's like, oh, you can still do this and do that. If you want to do it, you're gonna do it. So it was more like a tough love, the kind of love that a girl really don't want, you know.
And it's a hard thing to lose your sight after you've had it all your life, and you were an adult when this happened, right?
I've
Did you receive any training?
Yes, ma'am. I went to the Center for the Visually Impaired here in Atlanta. Yep. I graduated in
Okay,
2020. Actually, the same year I had my daughter, my last daughter.
okay. And how old are your children?
My oldest is 19. And then my baby girl is 9.
How did your oldest daughter handle you losing your sight?
Well, I could see up until she was about 6 or 7, and she watched me in the hospital, and they were saying like the transformation I went through, like just them watching me, it really scared her,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like she wanted to help her mom, but my mom had her and wouldn't allow her to, you know, she wouldn't allow us to get the bond that we should have had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were kind of on your own, it sounds like.
Well, when I lost my sight, I have a twin, and well, we're fraternal. So her and my mom kind of took places, let me come back and forth to their house for like the first year. And but after that first year, I started feeling bad for myself, and I'm like, I want to get up and do things again. So, that's when I went to CVI and I started taking steps to be independent because, yeah, just depending on them, that was not what was up.
Okay. So now you are fully independent now, correct?
Well, I've been independent since that when I pushed off from them.
Okay. Sometimes you got to break away. I know that I'm gonna just tell you this. I was born visually impaired. I could
Mhm.
see lights and shadows until I was a teenager, and I totally lost my sight. And my mom, she allowed me a modicum of independence, but she's a
Mhm.
mom, and mothers are can be overprotective and stuff. And I didn't really realize how much I could do until I moved
Mhm.
out. When I was probably 24, I think, and I just didn't realize. I started realizing my potential at that point, and now at 42, I'm still
Mhm.
realizing my potential. So, you know, um, it doesn't end. It doesn't stop, and you know that every day,
Yep.
or you're learning that you can do new things, different things. So that part of your story is awesome, and I'm glad you were able to overcome that. Now, the reason why we are here, there are a lot of stories circulating, and a lot of cases that I've been hearing, and I was naive, me personally. I was very naive to the fact that blind parents weren't being allowed to raise their own children. Again, I did have some independence growing up. I actually had a lot more than a lot of people growing
Mhm.
up, and I was a babysitter, and I have nieces and nephews that I kept, and my sister drop her boys off with me and leave them with me for a week. So I didn't know that this was an issue, and I've always wanted to be a mother. And
Mhm.
those of you who know my story, you know that I adopted a little girl, and I went through the whole adoption process. And I was concerned that they weren't gonna, like, the uh, courts weren't gonna allow me to adopt my daughter, and they were very supportive. So again, when I moved to Las Vegas a few years ago, and they had just passed a bill preventing blind parents from having their children taken from them because they were blind. And when I heard that, I went into like serious shock. My mouth was wide open, my heart was beating fast. I could not believe that they even had to do that. I never even It just didn't occur to me that you can have your children taken away from you out of the hospital because you were blind. Now,
Mhm.
I said that to say this because me and you have talked, but people, the people who are watching don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They passed that bill, and did they pass that type of bill where you live?
Yeah, they
There
passed
is a law.
thing.
Okay, so explain to my guests what is going on with you and your youngest child right now.
Okay, well, so my local county Department of Family and Children Services, child protective department, they have come to my home twice and took my youngest baby from me. The first time she was 2. Well, actually, they took her 3 times from me. The first time, she was a week old. Someone called while I was in the hospital, like the day I gave birth to her. A worker came to the hospital, and but they got a lot of security measures or whatever at the hospital, so she wasn't allowed to come up. I had to go out in the waiting room and talk to her, and they kept her away from my baby, of course. But
Mhm.
so when I went home, I stayed with a friend, my godmother, and her family. And they just came to her house one day and said they were taking my baby from me. It was on a Friday, and they said I had to come to court the following Monday. So when I went to court, the judge made them give me my daughter back immediately. But that was still traumatizing. Now 3 years later, they came to my home because they said someone called them or whatever, and they took my daughter from me then, saying that I failed a drug test. And they had her for 9 months. I did the case plans and everything. Within the first 2, 3 months, they still kept her. She got physically abused. by the foster mom, and they also put tubes in her ear without my permission and let them get infected, and she almost went completely deaf. So the same judge we have now, he ended up giving her back, because one of his partners had already gave me temporary custody back because they were finding out she was getting physically abused. So now here we are, 5 later. They come back to my home and tell me that they got a call, and I've been abusing my child, and they want her to go stay with someone that can see. And I refused that. I told them they can't make me give my child to someone else. So I have personal care assistants or certified nursing assistants that come in my home to help me, because I can only see shadows as well. But my daughter also has her hearing loss, and her she has a developmental delay from that. So they're saying she's special needs, and that because I'm blind and I fired the people, no matter what they did, I don't have the right to do that because I'm blind, and that's deprivation to my child. Even though these people are not here to take care of us, they're here to assist me, like with lighthouse cleaning, grocery shopping, running errands, or reading my mail, stuff like that. They're not nurses. It's not, something
Mhm.
that I just need because my doctor says it. It's something that I asked my doctor to sign off for, and they
Mhm.
just feel like they can tell me what I need. And they've had my daughter for 9 months this time. She has gotten physically abused again, and the judge just keep resetting the court dates. Now I don't have a lawyer to defend me, and they just making up lie after lie on me, and my daughter's constantly getting abused. And when she retaliates, they want to take her to the hospital or say she's out of order or try to justify why these people are putting their hands on her. So I'm just trying to fight with all my might to get her back because this is my best friend, my lifeline, my purpose. And it's like, this is the my second daughter, and someone called on me with my first one. That's how my mom got her. But I felt like my second baby, this my second chance. This my time to make everything right. Whatever I did wrong with my first daughter. And people just do not want to see me and her happy together. The only way people know how to hurt me is to call child protective services and try to have my child taken. So they know they cannot.
Do you have
Hmm.
do you have an idea of who do you have an idea of who is making these phone calls? I know that they can't
Oh yeah,
tell you,
I
but
know. I know.
do you personally
My,
have
mo-
an idea of who's doing it?
my mom was having people call. She had my sister call on me the second time they took her from me. And my mom is constantly having people call on me because it's I don't know what it is. For some reason she just don't like me or something. I don't know. Then this time around my
So they're saying that you are abusing your child. Have they sent anyone to your home to do a home study? Do they have proof? Is there hospital records or
nope.
anything like that? Because they can't just say that you're abusing your child without proof.
So what it was when they came to take her this time, my daughter had went to stay with my dad and his wife, and because they wanted me to send her to somewhere where somebody can see. So the aide went over there with her to my dad's house, but I did not want her over there because legally, my dad is not supposed to have children under 18 in his home, because he has some legal issues going on. And so he had her for a couple of weeks though, because they were threatening to take her from me if she didn't go somewhere else. But I asked my daddy, just bring my baby home. Because the aide was not doing her job, and my daddy called me complaining several times, and she was already messing up in my home, so I fired her. So her and her boss got together with my dad and his wife and the owner of the company. called and made the CPS report saying that I was abusing my daughter, and I only met this lady twice, and she was trying to bribe me to keep my daughter at her home healthcare agency. Now that my daughter's in defense care, she has a contract with them. So even though her aides have abused my daughter, even while she was in my home, she's allowed to go into the foster
Mm-hmm.
home, provide service to my child. And she had a caregiver that, well, one of the aides was helping us.
So I'm
And
sorry. Why is I'm sorry. Hold on one second before you go on. Why is she allowed to go and visit your child and she's not her child? Like what? I'm trying to figure out why is she legally
contract.
allowed to go and visit your daughter?
Yep, she has a contract with them. So it's like this, I can't get on my local news or nobody wants my story locally because all of this they have contracts with each other. The Georgia Division of Family and Children Services has everybody in their pocket. So she has a contract with them personally, and she's a business owner. So it's all about money. I told them I
You
didn't want her to wear around my child, and I did a police report on her and her caretaker. But they had the caretaker go in court and testify that she saw me hit my child. And the judge said that was enough proof for him, even though she did it out of spite because I fired her and I did reports against her.
you mentioned failed drug test. What was that about?
So the first time they said that I did fail that, but I mean, it wasn't an issue about her being abused or neglected though. It was just them saying, "Oh, she blind and she doing drugs," so they took her from me then. And
And how long ago was that?
that was in 2014,
Okay.
and I got
So
her
did they
back.
test you? I was gonna ask if they tested you after that and everything was all
Yeah,
cleared up.
bunch of drug tests until I got her back, and they all were negative. It was just that one test that I failed, but I mean, I take a lot of different medicines and stuff, and you know, I don't know. They were just looking for something, to take my child because every child they take into care is more money for them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: are you able to care for her without the home, the healthcare aid or the aid that comes to your home?
Yes, ma'am. Of course I am. I mean, I have my
Mm,
own.
okay.
I pay.
I know you are, but I'm asking so other
Yeah,
people can understand
I
what
pay
you can do.
for her. So basically, they're not
Mm,
caregivers as their title is. It's just that's just a word that they use, because they want to belittle me or whatever, saying they're my caregiver. I'm my own caregiver. They're the personal care assistant or certified nursing assistants. They're not caregivers.
mm-hmm.
Cause like I take care of myself. I provide a roof over my head and my child. I put food in her mouth, clothes on her back, shoes on her feet. I do all of that. They're not required to do any of that stuff.
So just so my guests know, I'm going to explain this because I don't have a aide, but I know a lot of people who do have an aide, and they are there to do just what she said. Help her if she needs help around the house, read mail to her, take her to the store, things like that, things that you would need. So they are not there to take care of her. She does not have a handicap. She is only blind. That is not a handicap. Um, and I'm sorry, and I have to be careful with those words because I actually used those words before and it upset someone. So let me rephrase. Her eyes do not work. I'm trying to think of a politically correct way of saying this. You know what? Her eyes don't work. She doesn't need anyone to take care of her health wise, okay, or physically. They are
Yeah,
just there to. She's pretty much using them for their eyes.
yeah,
um, and I said, like I said at the beginning, there are plenty of blind parents. There are blind couples, completely blind couples, who take care of their children, no problem. There are some blind couples and some single blind parents. I'm a single blind parent. There are some single blind parents who take care of children who have um, some delays. You said that your daughter has a
Yeah.
hearing impairment, and she also
Uh-huh.
has some other delays that doesn't stop anything. So, um, and the reason why I had you come tell your story is because people need, like I said, people need to hear this and understand that you are able to take care of your child. My concern is the proof. How are they getting proof that your child is being abused?
There
Um,
have any proof
because
that thing.
like you said, they can work their way. They can't, because you all have the law passed. They can't say, oh, we're taking your child because you're blind, and you can't take care of
Yeah.
your child because you're
Mhm.
blind. But they have to be able to prove that this child is not being cared for properly in the home.
Well, technically,
So this is my concern.
they have the judge that can give an order. He don't have to have proof. He can
Hmm.
just say he believe whatever. They're all getting paid.
Um, Are you trying to find yourself another lawyer currently?
No, ma'am. Well, I actually like I like to Google stuff or just try to find stuff on my own. So I tried to find attorneys that might take my case pro bono or something, because the judge just completely refused to appoint me another a court appointed attorney. He said I have to represent myself, and he put that on record. So that's what I'm doing. I'm representing myself, and they won't talk to me, even though they made these allegations. They putting everything on him. So um my daughter is getting physically abused again, so I did several police reports, so it's an open investigation. As a matter of fact, it's two open investigations on DFACS and the foster parents right now, and that the lady who has a contract with them, because she's continuing to send out personal care assistance, and they keep assaulting my daughter. So
Is your 19-year-old, is your oldest daughter, is she in your life now? Does she do anything to help?
she 19 though, so she here and there. She
Okay,
trying to live her best life.
I understand. Um, like I said, I wanted you to get your story out there, and I'm gonna put this out for um my viewers. If there is anyone out there who can um, give Daphne some guidance, or who knows anyone who can help her out, leave it in the comments. And also, Daphne, if you have an email address or any information of Facebook that you want somebody to maybe message you, if you can give everyone some contact information for you.
Okay. So my Facebook is MRS Daphne Coleman. DAPHNE COLEMAN. I mean, if anybody would like to call me, shoot. My number is 404-399-9764. I also have a petition. Now that's also on my Facebook page, or it's on change.com. And my email address, it is all lowercase letters, Coco COCOA Brown BROWN 05 at iCloud.com.
And you have your petition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post your Facebook information in the comments. And if anyone wants to find this Coleman on Facebook, only if you are willing to help, or you have some encouraging words. We want positivity. So only for positivity, okay? I know I want to put that out there. So I will put her Facebook information in the comments. You and your daughter, your family, you guys are all in my prayers. Thank you. I know this was really difficult for you to share. I know how we feel about our children.
Yeah.
Um, I know how I feel about my baby. She's the air I breathe, and like you said, that's your best friend in your heart. And it's a shame that you have to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that it sounds like it's your family who's putting you through. So, you are in my prayers, and I'm gonna make sure that this gets shared. And you know, we're
Okay.
gonna see if we can try to find you some help. Can you tell everyone what city and state that you live in currently?
I am in Decatur, Georgia.
Okay, because you might get some help outside of Decatur, Georgia, and we we want to make sure that they know, maybe, and you might be able to get some help in Decatur, Georgia. You never know,
Uh,
somewhere around you. So,
yes.
I'm praying for you, and we're going to put your information. You guys, thank you so much for joining me again. Leave some comments. Go and check out Daphne's um, Facebook page. Again, give us your Facebook page one more time.
It's MRS Daphne Coleman.
Okay. So go check out her Facebook page. Sign that petition for her. Let's try to get her some support. Um, get her daughter out of a bad situation.
Mhm.
If you guys want to come on, I always invite you. If you have a story that you want to tell, something that you want to talk about, let me know. Inbox me. You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Jennifer's Open Book. You can also find me on Facebook under Jennifer Janelle, JINNERFER, JINNELLE. Thank you again, you guys, for joining me. I really want to reach out to some more of my blind parents. If you have a story like this or similar, a similar story to tell, or if you've been through something, yeah, a similar story. So you've been through something similar, and if you have a positive outcome, we would like to hear your story. We want to hear those success stories. We also want to hear those stories, like Daphne's, so that we can put it out there so people can hear these stories. This should not be happening, you guys. If these children are in a safe environment, they should not be taken out of that safe environment and put into a dangerous one. So again, thank you, Miss Coleman, for joining me. Thank you guys for all of your support and for joining me. And until next time, I love you. Bye.